Well known to the British boys. In the Great Britain side, Martin O'Fire of Widnes plays his first test match of the 5-test tour. Chris Bibb in for Alan Tate, the Widnes fullback, who went home 2 days ago with an injury. But the result thought to hinge entirely on the scrum half duel between Bobby Goulding, the Great Britain teenager, and Gary Freeman of New Zealand. We're now to your commentators, Ray French and Greg Clark.
Well, what a great day for number 11 in the Kiwi team, Tawera Nikau. It's his first test, and he gets to lead the New Zealand side in the haka. Peter Brown, plenty of pressure on him. He's back for his first test after the '88 World Cup loss to Australia. He'll be doing the goal kicking today. Plenty of pressure on the big prop.
A lot of pressure on this lad, Greg. David Manson, first test. He's had a couple of schoolboy tests. I saw him referee well in the State of Origin match, though.
You may have noticed the change of uniform for the Kiwis. Back in the early 80s, someone decided that the New Zealanders should wear dark shorts. The New Zealand Rugby League constitution stipulates that the Kiwis must wear white shorts and the black and white jersey. So a change of strip for the Kiwis as the first test in 1990 gets underway at the Palmerston North Showgrounds. Gary Schofield, the vice-captain on tour. Plenty of Kiwis in there to wrap him up.
And I think, Greg, the first priority here for Great Britain will be to get a hold of this ball, steady it down, play through 5 or 6 tackles, and then put this ball deep downfield.
Crunch. Good defence there from the New Zealanders on Keith England, the prop.
And here it goes, Greg.
Joe Lydon turning the New Zealanders around. Panapa, put it down. It's gone forward. And the referee says that it went forward after it went backwards, first of all. So work that one out.
Well, I must confess it looked a knock on to me, Greg, but the referee's in charge, and that's good cover from Great Britain already. There's a liveliness about this pack.
It took 4 New Zealanders there to bring Kimonino down. They're certainly marking him. Peter Brown, first touch of the ball. A good, confident run by the big prop. Penalty in the opening minute of this match. Not allowing Peter Brown to get up and play the ball, so the first penalty to New Zealand.
I think the referee indicated that Paul Dixon had struck a punch as well, Greg, at the same time.
This is Brent Todd, the Canberra Raider. 10 metres inside Great Britain territory. Peter Brown. Gregory over the top and Dixon underneath. Mann having a dart from dummy half. 20 metres inside Great Britain territory.
Great Britain forwards moving up very, very quickly here, covering these rucks.
Dean Clark got away from Schofield, got away from Betts. Dean Clark, here's a great run from the standoff.
That's a good cover tackle.
That's the quarter line. Freeman spinning it wide. Mann along with out to Hume again. Up over the quarter line goes McGann. Where's the support? He gets it out to Nikau. Nikau out to Sam Panapa. Panapa is it in the corner. What a start for New Zealand. Sam Panapa, the Aucklander. They spun it wide, and he's one of the best finishers in New Zealand at this stage.
Well,
Great try.
You can certainly say that. I saw this lad score 2 at Carlow Park. He's a strong lad, former Sheffield Eagles player back home there in England, but that certainly was some try. But just notice here, McGann, he's not picked up early enough. Keith England turns his back on him, and here is the Panapa. Good pass from Nikau. Chris Bibb knocked off. Well, he must rue the sight of this lad, Panapa. That's twice in a week he's knocked him off.
Sam Panapa, his first test for New Zealand, 28 years of age, from the Te Atatu club in Auckland. He's been knocking on the door for test selection and finally gets his opportunity today, and he's making the most of it so far. 9 tries in 9 matches in the first-class season in New Zealand. Well, that's the angle for Peter Brown. A difficult one to have first up. Struck it pretty well, just away to the front of the uprights. No goal.
A lot of people back home in Salford will remember Peter Brown. Very much an in-and-out kicker. Kicks some very good ones, misses some easy ones.
Since 1907, New Zealand and Great Britain have played 74 tests. That doesn't include the World Cup encounters. Great Britain have won 45. As we look at Kiwi coach Bob Bailey, is that a smile? It should be after that start. Dean Lonergan beside him, one of the reserves. Tawera Nikau. Out to Dean Clark. He's made a confident start.
Again, that's the danger area. The ball's moving out wide. It's slipping through the first two tackles, as opposed to Great Britain, who've kept it close.
McGann had a bit of trouble holding on to that one.
There's plenty of pace in this back row of Nikau, Horrow and McGann.
Brent Todd. He only knows one way to go, and that's right up the middle. And New Zealand with another good chance, 15 metres out. Peter Brown throws the dummy. Couldn't offload to Nikau. Takes a tackle 10 metres out. New Zealand leading 4 points to 0 to Freeman. Out to Dean Clark. Tony Kemp, he's got Caballero on the outside. Got away from O'Fire, you know, but he's held up 5 metres out, and that's the 5th tackle.
I think a little grubber kick across to the post here, called for. There it is.
Freeman does it. It's still lying loose on the ground, but it's been knocked over the dead ball line by Keith England. The prop did well to get back there.
That was good play. That was a perfectly judged kick. Bouncing, bobbling. The pitch is good. Good cover by England. Did well to get away with that. This is a very, very dangerous kick. You never quite know where these balls are going to bounce. And just look at that hand. Well done. Good Keith England.
Now Panapa. Yes, these two countries have played 74 tests. Great Britain have won 45. New Zealand triumphed 26 times and 3 were drawn. And it's been a great start by New Zealand today. Nikau.
Significant, Greg. We've been playing, what, 6 minutes. New Zealand have been in possession for 5.
That's been the story of the match so far as Tony Ito plays it. Freeman. He's got the backs lined out again. Ito. Cross field. A switch of play, but Dean Clark couldn't handle it. Still lying loose on the ground. Knock on.
Come on. Now then, this should be a chance. It should be head and ball for Great Britain. We've not had time to settle down Great Britain at all. Just 1 minute in possession.
Well, look at that. Actually more weight in the Great Britain side. 3 kilos heavier.
That's a good kick. O'Fire's on it. Oh, the bounce beat him. But in fact, I've seen O'Fire score tries like that for Widnes.
Good pass out of the support. Bibb.
That was good rugby. That was well judged by Schofield.
Now it's Gregory. Here's a chance for Great Britain. Let's see what they can do. They've been under pressure in the opening part of this match. Bobby Goulding, the run round with Betts. He has a go on his own, Dennis Betts, up to the quarter line.
Really, Great Britain should be pushing this out wide, having a forward or two coming off the 3rd or 4th receiver.
Gary Schofield got away from one. Here's a chance for Great Britain. They've got a man over on the far side, and he's in. Jonathan Davis will score. What a great comeback by Great Britain.
Superb try. We pushed it wide for the first time. It was the first real threat we had, and let's not forget it all came from that kick. Good play here. Good quick passing, and Gary Schofield strong. Shrugs off the standoff Dean Clark, and the perfectly judged ball. And of course, Jonathan Davis, he doesn't miss opportunities like this. 4 points, and he keeps up his point scoring record, this lad. 70 points now on this tour. But it's the movement out wide that does the trick. And Schofield, he's well covered. No excuses for that, but that's good play. Superb judgment here. Almost thought Panapa was in, but no, Davis takes it, no problem. That's a good try, and that's just the right time to reply.
Well, that has certainly silenced the crowd here at the Palmerston North Showgrounds. 4-all. Jonathan Davis playing his 3rd test today. He's made his debut on the short tour of Papua New Guinea prior to arriving in New Zealand.
Been in excellent form. Could not be left out of this test because of his goal kicking. 25 to date.
No. It's away. 4-all. Come on, Kiwi! The restart from Tony Kemp. That's certainly given the New Zealanders plenty to think about. Everyone said that they would have the strength out wide, but there was nothing wrong with that movement by Great Britain. Mike Gregory, the captain, he led the Great Britain team to a series win over New Zealand last year. Said during the week that he'd give anything to lead them to a series win over the Kiwis this year.
A lot of people, you know, Greg, said this was going to be a very hard, gruelling physical test. It will be with tackling like that. But I think there's so much football in these two sides. We are getting a very open game.
Certainly exciting stuff at the moment. Dennis Betts. It's going to be a good contest between him and his opposite number, Tawera Dekau. That's a bad kick.
Yep. Normally, Gary Schofield would not be taking those kicks. I think the wrong pass was made. It's usually Joe Lydon or Jonathan Davis. Davis coming in from the wing.
To the scrum. 20 metres inside Great Britain territory.
Dwayne Mann there, the hooker. He knows Martin Dermott. Many a battle with Dwayne Mann, with Warrington and Wigan. Great adversaries, and of course in the Challenge Cup final.
Dean Clark. Tony Kemp slips over, held by Carl Gibson. Cavallino. Look, 4 players in there. I didn't like something that went on in the tackle, but here's Brent Todd, almost to the quarter line. Great Britain territory.
Again, New Zealand dominating this territorial.
Out wide it goes. Tony Kemp with a bit of room to move, but Schofield's across there with a good tackle. Tadiano gets it back now to Dean Clark. Up over the quarter line he goes. Plenty of Great Britain defenders in there again. Darryl Williams up from fullback. There's the bomb. Straight up in the air. Bibb leaves it behind. Look, well, a Great Britain player offside there, but play on, says the referee, as Gibson stops and gets up and has another run.
It looked to be offside, Greg, but I think it hit a Kiwi on the way back. But well taken by Gibson.
And this is Keith England, 8 metres from halfway.
Great Britain have got to keep this ball in their hands for some length of time. They've got to get used to this ball. They've got to handle the ball. They've got to hold it.
Well, Mike Gregory was looking for the runners off him there, but they're one, so he took the tackle, and now it's Schofield. Better kick this time from the standoff and vice-captain. Darryl Williams is back there. Gee, he's been a reliable fullback for New Zealand. Has played on the wing and also in the centres, and he gets a pass over to Sam Panopar. That was a good combination between the fullback and the wing.
And that was a good tackle by Davis.
Peter Brown, along the ground it goes. Picked up by Brent Todd. There's no way through.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Gary Schofield moving in very quickly here, you know. There's a lot of passes here, very wild, very astray from the Kiwis. There's good interceptions on.
Forward pass. Him again. The quick pass inside to Dekau, but referee David Manson from Brisbane, Australia.
Well spotted. This was well spotted. And this could have been very, very dangerous.
Great Britain play it. Dixon, Dermott, back now to Schofield. Linking up out wide. That's Bibb, the fullback, into the movement. Swinging arm there from Tony Kemp.
Schofield, what a good game he's having. Really could have done with somebody following Dennis Betts.
8 metres inside New Zealand territory. This is Dennis Betts now. Won't get away from Brent Todd and Tawera Dekau. 10 metres inside the opposition territory now. 4-all the score at the Palmerston All Showgrounds. The first ever rugby league test in the city. And Bobby Goulding with a kick over the top, but his opposite number, Gary Freeman, was back there. Read it pretty well, Freeman. Now Panapa pushed off one. G's playing with a lot of confidence, Sam Panapa.
Interesting to see Coach Bob Bailey using these two wingmen coming in midfield all the time. The two big men, they can do the job of a forwards. Give a couple of forwards a rest.
Marcotto, 10 metres short of halfway. Freeman. Out wide.
That's a beautiful
ball out to Dean Clark in the open. He's got Freeman back inside. Where's the other support? Freeman throws the dummy. Gibson has bled it over on the far side, though. Gary Freeman, and a penalty. The touch judge has his flag up.
Well, originally that was a good tackle by Gibson. He never let Freeman get out of his sights. He followed him, he shepherded him to the touchline. But obviously the touch judge has seen something. We'll probably get a better view here. Good dummy by Freeman, but just look at Gibson. He's shepherding him, he's following him. There's no way that Gibson's going anywhere. Freeman, and he knows it. I think it's the tackle of Mike Gregory coming in.
Gary Freeman.
And
Carl
the
Gibson
Kiwis
there.
going for touch.
Peter Brown will find touch, so a good opportunity now for New Zealand to head back. 17 minutes of play in the first half of the first test, 1990.
And what a place to hold a first test. It's the first time I've been to Palmerston North and the first time I've had a test, but beautiful setting, Greg.
Peter Brown couldn't offload to the runners. 10 metres out. Freeman, Nick Howe, double round with Freeman. They've got a line up out wide. Dean Clark, Tony Kemp gets a good ball out to Cabanito. One over the top to his brother Tony. They went along the ground and that gave the opposition the opportunity to get over there. Now this is Brent Todd settling it 10 metres out from the line. Here's a penalty this time to New Zealand. Is it Joe Lydon that's been...
Well, referee Manson judging that Joe Lydon had kneeled on Peter Brown. I think it was a little bit touch and go, that, Greg. I think Joe Lydon was very unfortunate there.
Derek Fox in the middle of that picture in the front row. He was ruled out of the reserves only yesterday. When he failed a fitness test, he's been replaced by Sean Irwin. This is Peter Brown. Told me during the week that prefer to have a couple of easy ones first up, but you can never tell in a game of rugby league. So he's got to make the most of the opportunities. He missed a conversion from wide out. A good attempt earlier on.
There are no easy goals in a test match, Greg. They may look easy, but the pressure's on.
Struck it pretty well. The crowd likes it.
Well, that looked a queer kick. I think it was a very nervous goal kicker out there in Peter Brown. He didn't really strike it well, but somehow it went over, and it's the 2 points that count. 6 points to 4 for New Zealand.
Still his teammates on the bench, the reserves, finding it hard to raise a smile. Peter Brown, he'll be relieved after kicking that one. New Zealand 6-4 over Great Britain. Joe Lydon with the restart. Now this is Sam Panapa. Run straight into Dennis Betts and his second row partner, Dixon.
Great Britain have got to keep New Zealand down here. It's significant. New Zealand have rarely kicked the ball. They just had the one high up and under, and they've moved downfield by virtue of passing the ball.
Freeman, the blind side, Dean Clark. Wrapped up, 20 metres short of halfway. This is Tawira Nikau.
That's a good tackle. Good tackle there from Martin Dermott.
Peter Brown came off Mike Gregory. And Cleance is the referee. Now Tony Hilo, the big man's got a bit of room to move. Tony Kemp.
Oh, superb. Now then.
To pass it back to Dwayne Mann, still going. Keeping it
That's a good ball.
Tawira Nikau. Send. No, it's not. It's Cabanito. And he gets it down just in time. A try.
Well, that was a magnificent pass from Dwayne Mann, and once again I think it showed you the size of Hero, the power of Hero. He's the danger man. He was able to keep up. But you know, in this movement, let's see this tackle by Gary Schofield. Is he actually down? Is that a tackle? Well, his knees are on the ground. That could be adjudged a tackle. I wonder whether Mr. Manson's right or wrong there. But that's a beautiful pass from Dwayne Mann. Hero has the ball. It takes sheer strength here now. It's the Greyhound, but Hero keeps in.
The man has pace and size, and this is where it all started with Peter Brown. Now it actually, well, it looked as if it may have come off a New Zealander there.
Well, that's what I thought, and I think it's a very lucky decision. Mr. Manson's roaring on, but you've got to say that this is good Kiwi play. Iro, good pass out there to Kemp. Now, this is the tackle that worries me. Is he down? Is that a tackle?
Well, he was still going forward, so I'll disagree with you, Ray.
Just look at that pass
okay
from Dwayne Mann. That is a beauty. That's skill. And look at the number 11 there as well, Nick Howe, in there. Now, this takes some scoring. He seems to hover in mid-air. It's a try.
Cabanito, so New Zealand now leading by 10 points to 4. Another difficult one for Peter Brown, but he should be full of confidence after the last kick. That's the distance. He's just inside that far touch line. He's not going to have the legs. It's going to fall in front of the uprights. Camarero, his 13th test today, 22 years of age, from the Wigan Club in Great Britain, former junior Kiwi, rated as one of the best centres in the world.
That's what you call feeding a ball, I believe, Greg.
He must have thought the hooker was in the second row. Mark Hotto. Anyway, New Zealand forcing their way downfield now. Gary Freeman, look at the lineup out there. Darrell Radicau, out it goes to Tony Kemp. Kemp back to nobody. It's going to be Nick out that's going to have to go back and hold on to it. Well, keeping the ball alive is one thing, but throwing some desperation passes is another. Here's Peter Brown finding a way up the middle. No runners off him this time. Freeman down the blind side. He's got a player inside, and they're keeping it alive again through Peter Brown up over the quarter line.
It's Freeman and Brown at the hub of things in the middle. Little Freeman coming away here, first, second receiver all the time.
It's a field goal attempt, but it's away to the right. It was a fifth tackle. Good thinking by Dwayne Mann, but it didn't come off.
That was worth doing. Well, a lot of tackling there from Paul Dixon, Gregory, Dermott, but, you know, they've got to keep at it. Great Britain's got to hang on in there. And we need a big game from this man, number 8, Trevor Skerritt. Not played a lot of rugby, as you can see, that right leg, very, very heavily strapped. Flown to Sydney for surgery.
Keith England. Dennis Betts. What a good step by the 20-year-old Mulligan. He's got Mike Gregory on the other side of him. Betts and over the top. No, it's gone to Tony Kemp. He was looking for Martin O'Fire.
Well, that looked a bad pass, but in actual fact, Mike Gregory had overrun Dennis Betts. It would have been a forward pass if he'd given it to Mike Gregory. And it was well-intentioned to try to O'Fire.
Wow, look at this Camarero. Beat 3 or 4 people before. It was Dermott, his Wigan club mate, around the legs to bring him down.
But that, you know, that was a chance gone begging for Great Britain.
Well, the Great Britain backs have certainly had plenty of work to do on defence.
That's significant of New Zealand's attacking style. If you look at Gibson and Golding out wide, that's where New Zealand are attacking. They're not going down the middle.
Cardiano takes on Martin O'Fire, throws it back to nobody. It's going to be picked up by Dean Clark, though. O'Fire gets across there to wrap him up. Now, this is the 5th tackle, almost on the halfway line. New Zealand leading by 10 points to 4. Williams, crossfield. Davis does well to take it, looking into the sun.
And that's his first touch of the ball, you know, since that try.
Carl Gibson, 20 metres short of halfway. Schofield. Wrapped up by Hotto. Gilding. Back inside to Dixon. Here's Lydon with the kick.
Good strong kick from Lydon.
Finding some open spaces.
Not really bothered about whether he goes in touch or not, but he's got to keep the Kiwis down here near this line. But just look, you see, he's got 20 yards before there are any defenders there. We're not following that ball up. Great Britain are not following that ball up as they should.
Parnapa. 20 metres short of halfway. New Zealand territory. McGann. Back to Freeman, out to Peter Brown. Prop can't free his hands. Great Britain defence doing a good job wrapping him up. Now this is Brent Todd.
Good tackling there from Joe Lydon, coming in well, helping the pack out. A lot of pressure on this Great Britain pack.
Freeman, good ball out to Nikau. The 5th tackle. Peter Brown tries the grubber kick. O'Fire's back there. Let's see what the Speedster can do here. Got a wall of Kiwis in front of him. Oh, gets a good ball out to Bibb.
That was good play.
Bobby Goulding, almost to the halfway. Schofield gets through the gap.
Good
Schofield
run.
gets it out to Paul Dixon, his Leeds teammate. He gets it over there to Carl Gibson, and Carl Gibson will have too much pace. He'll race away and score.
That's good. superb try from Carl Gibson, and Great Britain did well to keep the movement going there. Martin O'Fire back downfield receiving attention, but that's put a bit of heart into one or two of the British lads in that stand.
Just look, more or less came from nothing.
Well, it was Schofield again. It was Schofield who made the first try. Good run from Paul Dixon, the Leeds prop come second row, and Gibson, he took that well. The race here with Panaper, but Gibson's going, there's no stopping him. Good try, and the try that Great Britain needed.
Well, Leeds supporters and Great Britain will be pretty happy with this effort, because it was Gary Schofield from Leeds out to Paul Dixon, who's Leeds' teammate. And looming up on the outside is Carl Gibson, another Leeds man. And he's got too much pace. Panaper can only try and ankle tap him. He did that okay, but the line came up too soon. And Jonathan Davis with a chance now to equalise.
Well, Davis in top form, but this is a big problem for Great Britain. Martin O'Fire, his first game on this tour. He's only joined this tour thanks to a severe bruising of the toe, but that looks like an ankle injury. Back to Davis.
Strikes it well. It's locked up at 10-all at the Palmerston Showgrounds.
And I think Great Britain can be very well pleased with that. We've taken a pounding. The Kiwis have brought the game to us, but yet there's sufficient talent in this Great Britain side to keep striking back.
Bobby Goulding will have the feed for Great Britain. 10-all. Goulding.
And that's good heel. Coming up to this half-time period, 10 points each. Neither side wants to concede a try here. I think Great Britain certainly be very, very pleased to go in level at this time.
Well, now Dennis Betts. Penalty is going Great Britain's way, 3-1. So just a couple of minutes to go to half-time, and Darryl Williams takes the tackle. Again, it was Schofield doing the chasing for Great Britain. Freeman out to Hugh McGann. Dwayne Mann overran it, so McGann, the skipper, has to go straight up the middle. He's lost the ball. Goes back the way of Great Britain now. Bobby Goulding picks it up.
Now then, 2 minutes to go. Great Britain with the 6 tacklers on. All the pressure on the Kiwis. You've got to move this ball, Great Britain.
Down the blind side, Mike Gregory. Won't get away from Dean Clark. Calvin Skerritt straight up the middle. Led by Hono and also Brent Todd. So that the Kiwi defence holding firm. Great Britain determined to keep it going down the blind side. This is Joe Lydon.
There are gaps out wide there because the Kiwis' pack is bunched. It's very, very close in around the rucks if this ball's moved.
A good ball out to Paul Dixon. It's going back on the ground. Dived upon by Gary Schofield. No, the referee's going to award it to New Zealand. And Tawera Nico throws a dummy. Got away from Skerritt, but Gregory's there to wrap him up.
Very impressed
short of halfway.
Very impressed, Greg, with this number 11, Tawera Nico. He's a good footballer. He can run. And if the story's correct that he's going to Rydale York, then certainly they've got a bargain.
Darryl Williams up from fullback looking for a little bit of work. So will the Kiwis throw it around, or will they be happy to go into half-time? Play on, says the referee, as a couple of players have a bit of a skirmish. Peter Brown. Panaper. Sam Panaper won't get away from Bobby Goulding, but it was a forward pass in back play. David Manson has called them back.
Well, Mr. Manson's called them back. He waved play on. So that could only signify that somehow, well, why did he wave play on? Because surely he'd obviously spotted something, but he certainly backed off it.
Well, I think he looked across at the touch judge, and the touch judge gave him the indication that it was forward. But it's half-time here at the Palmerston North Showgrounds. Mike Gregory and his coach Malcolm really should be happy. I think Hugh McGann, the Kiwi skipper, will not be a happy man, because New Zealand, I think, dominated territorially in that first half, and really they've let it slip a little bit, allowing them to come in. There's Bob Bailey rushing down the stairs. He's going to have to certainly fire them up at half-time.
I think Bob Bailey has every right to rush downstairs, because I certainly would want it to have been 10 or 15 points in the lead. They made the breaks, they made the openings, but that British Bulldog spirit somehow kept in there. At 10 points each, I think this game's swinging Britain's way.
10-all the score at half-time. Jonathan Davis gets the second half underway. Freeman takes it on the boot and gives it back to Tony Ino. Ino being pushed back there. Now Peter Brown. That's the quarter line. New Zealand territory. Brent Todd. Runs into Schofield and also Gregory.
Great Britain have got to contain the Kiwis down here, forcing people like Peter Brown to kick.
And Brown.
That's a bad kick, really, aside. Very, very foolish to kick towards the Fire's wing.
And the Fire puts it straight on to the boot. It's taken out of play, but the referee says play on. So they gave it straight back to New Zealand. They've got another 6, and taking plenty of stopping again, the big man. 2 metres short of halfway. Freeman. Nick Howe. Won't get the ball away this time. Wrapped up by Dixon. Brent Todd showed the ball, elected to take the tackle of Keith England. That's a halfway line, you can see. Gary Freeman, Peter Brown, Tony Hero allowed to keep it alive. Knock on there by Dean Clark.
There's a lot of loose ball flying around in this test match. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an interception.
New Zealand territory. Gary Schofield with a drop goal, and it's waved away.
But it was well worth the attempt. Both sides are locked here. A goal or a drop goal could count. What a fine game Gary Schofield's having.
Well, it was a Great Britain knock on, so it's a New Zealand feed. It's on the quarter line.
Good tackle there.
Let's go to the sideline and Howie Tamati.
Roy Powell making a sub for Kelvin Skerritt. Kelvin Skerritt picked up an injury just before. It looks like he'll be replaced next break and play.
Well, here's a vital penalty coming up to New Zealand.
And
Mark Otto staggering a little bit after that tackle.
yeah, Kelvin Skerritt, I think a little bit of frustration there. I'm sure that Coach Mal really would probably wish he'd
Yes, there's the
substituted
punch.
Kelvin
Straight onto Mark Otto's face.
before.
Well, we spoke about the pressure on the New Zealand goal kicker in the first half, Peter Brown. And this one is the most important so far. 10-all the score at the moment. No, it's away to the right. And Martin O'Fire will be tackled in goal. So good chasing by New Zealand. But the score remains 10-all.
That was very good chasing and very casual play by Great Britain. Great Britain should have had the possession there. They should have had the tackles. Instead, it's going to the Kiwis.
The goalmouth dropout. Williams waits for it, takes it well. Once again, he's got plenty of room to move. 20 metres inside Great Britain territory. Let's see what the Kiwis can do now. Dwayne Mann wrapped up. Ten-all and a bad pass.
There are those loose passes again. There's definitely a lack of link-up here between the half-backs and the centres out here. The ball just isn't going clean and crisp enough for the Kiwis.
Great Britain ball. Gary Schofield takes on Dean Clark, and he's wrapped up. Now Keith England looking for a bit of work. Gets a good ball back to Dennis Betts.
Having a good game, this Wigan youngster. Just 20 years of age, one of the new rising lions in the game.
And a good kick there of touch finder from Gary Schofield again. Bob Bailey, well, a half a smile there from the Kiwi coach. But there's still a long way to go. In fact, he's laughing now. Will he be laughing at the end of the match?
No, that was a knock-on, surely.
Yes.
And little Goulding, well, he's only 18, but he's cheeky enough there to give Mr. Manson a pat. And certainly Great Britain don't want to get involved in this. Great Britain have got the head and ball. Bobby Goulding, very, very concerned. He wants that scrum possession. And he gets it.
Now it's Schofield, a chance now, as Bibb is up from fullback. Doesn't get away from his opposite number, Darryl Williams. That was good defence by Williams. Now Gary Schofield, as a bit of a skirmish goes on here. Play on, though. 3 or 4 of the forwards into it after that last scrum.
There was obviously something going on there with Martin Dermott and Keith England, but certainly Great Britain don't want any involvement in this. They're on the attack. They've got the possession that they need. They've got to play the rugby.
As Jonathan Davis taking some time to get up, he was not involved in the skirmish.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the touch judge tells Mr. Manson.
Well, David Manson from Australia in his first test match, and he's allowed this game to flow on quite well, Ray.
Is he going to have a word? Certainly he's having a word with Keith England. And
this wasn't part of the skirmish. This is Jonathan Davis, who took plenty of time coming up, and accidental knee to the back there.
Yes, it was that knee by Mark Horrow in Davis. It's winded him.
So no penalty, but a scrum. And Great Britain take it out again. Now Bibb up from fullback.
And the same move, the original move from the previous scrum.
Schofield, Betts has left it behind. It's a New Zealand ball. Well, mistakes have crept into New Zealand's play in the second half. They have to settle down now, and this is Peter Brown. I think he's had a strong game. I think the Great Britain forwards fancy their chances against Brown. And he stood up to them well today. And this is his propping partner, Brent Todd. 10-all. A tight second half so far. Tawera Nikau.
I think tight is the word, Greg. The Kiwis seem to have changed their style. Much tighter in this second half than the first half. But this is better from them.
Cavallino pushes off Martin O'Fire, comes back inside. Through it to one of his centre's partner. In fact, it was Tony Kemp. And now it's all on again.
And again, it doesn't matter whose fault this is, whether it's Great Britain's fault or New Zealand's fault. Great Britain have the ball. They can't get involved in this sort of thing. Losing the opportunity. But certainly between Gary Schofield and Tony Kemp, there's no love lost.
So another report from a touch judge.
I think unless Great Britain get a penalty here, they'll be very disappointed to lose the possession.
Touch judge Des O'Sullivan from Wellington. Mr. Manson laying down the law to Schofield and Tony Kemp. Penalties. Well, Great Britain have conceded 4 and New Zealand conceded 1. Now it's 5-1.
Well, that seems a strange decision. Mr. Manson signalling stealing the ball.
Possibly Tony Kemp may have been tackled before he had the opportunity to get that pass from Cavallino, but there's a good kick by Peter Brown. So let's see what the New Zealanders can do now. They're inside the Great Britain territory. Peter Brown, set move down the blind side. 20 metres inside the opposition half now. Freeman waiting for it. Nikau, double round with Freeman. He throws a dummy. He's got a bit of room to move. Gary Freeman got away from Betts.
That was a good cover tackle there by Gibson again. Vital one. Freeman spotted the gap. He used it well.
Nikau cleans up. Still going Tawera Nikau. There's Roy Powell underneath though. And that's almost on the quarter line. Gary Freeman again. He's almost lost his shorts, but he still plays on, the little halfback. Hasn't been given much room to move. The blind side they go. Dean Clark. That's the 5th tackle now. Gary Freeman. Peter Brown. One over the top. Horrow. Mark Horrow. He's got a couple of men outside him. Out it goes to Tony Kemp. He throws the dummy, Tony Kemp. Keeping it alive through Barnaby. He's put it down. It's been towed through, but the knock on.
And that should be the handover. I think the 6th tackle it is. Good defence there from Great Britain. Gary Schofield knowing what to do, the handover.
So now it's Great Britain's turn to get it out of the dangerous area. They're well inside their own quarter, just 10 metres out from their own line. Dixon.
A lot of patience needed here from Great Britain.
Bobby Goulding back inside to Dennis Betts, his Wigan teammate. That's a good ball. Rugby League can be grateful that they've got Dennis Betts playing the sport, because he was almost wrapped up by the Manchester United Soccer Club, I'm told.
That's right, he was a good soccer player as a youth, but he's been following Bobby Goulding well, especially around the rucks. Not quite got the full break.
Well, Schofield had plenty of time to judge that kick, and he judged it well.
And that was a good sequence of rugby by Great Britain. Good forward play, good half-back play, and I think Mal Reilly, he'll be pleased with this.
Roy Powell can't offload.
I think Mal Reilly is very concerned. It's very difficult when to know when to put a substitute on or not, because of course you could use a substitute up and then you get a very serious injury when you're struggling.
Well, this is the 5th tackle now. What have Great Britain got up their sleeve for this set of 6? A drop goal, yes. And straight between. The deadlock has been broken by Gary Schofield, the second attempt at a field goal today, and that's going to certainly give them plenty of confidence. It's Great Britain leading New Zealand by 11 points to 10.
And this was well worth the drop goal. Gary Schofield, the master, the expert, perfectly positioned. What a big game this lad's having, coming into form just at the right time.
Freeman takes it out for New Zealand. Clark almost lost it. They're spinning it wide through Tony Kemp. He can't find a way past Carl Gibson.
And did I see Darryl Powell coming on the field there? Was it...
Number 16, Darryl Powell, is also on.
It's Joe Lydon that's come off now. Then that is a big blow. Joe been troubled with the ankle. Whether it's that ankle or not, we'll soon find out. And there's Darryl Powell, the Sheffield Eagles lad. He's done very, very well. Played in the centre in 2 tests in Papua New Guinea. He'll not let the side down.
It's his 4th test today. 24 years of age. Got a touch finder there from New Zealand, and they're onto the quarter line now. Great Britain territory. Tawa Inika running across. Here's a chance. Dean Clark trying to find a way up the middle. The crowd roaring the Kiwis on. They're trailing by 1 point. Here's George Mann. First touch of the ball for Mann. This time he gets a pass away. But Betts read that pretty well.
That's the sort of run that George Mann can do.
Freeman. Oh, good ball out to Hume again. Where's the support? It's nowhere to be seen. No, just couldn't link up with Camerino storming up in Tawa Inika. That was better play. Now it's Dwayne Mann. Right over the top. It's been intercepted. This should be a try. Martin O'Fire. He's certainly got the legs. But it's been called back. It's been called back. It's a penalty to New Zealand.
Well, this I find absolutely incredible, Greg. What this penalty will be for, I'll be very, very interested with Mr. Mann. He's talking about offside and 5 yards, but surely Martin O'Fire, he was very near and almost on his own line. Well, I certainly think the Great Britain camp will be amazed and staggered at this. That was a certain try. Just look at now then. Why is O'Fire offside? Now, I would like to know. Surely he's allowed there. He's not offside when the pass is made. It's a try. No problems whatsoever, and I really do think Mr. Manson's got a lot to answer for.
Well, he ruled that it was Martin O'Fire who was inside the 5 minutes of the play of the ball, but this is going to be talked about for a long time. 10-all at half-time. It's been a tight, torrid battle in the second half.
And these players are tiring, Greg. The pace has suddenly dropped down a notch or two.
Peter Brown, good ball back inside the Mark Otto.
Six minutes to go.
Tony Kemp, George Mann, back to nobody. Was smart enough to dive on it.
Little Gary Freeman there, craftily trying to claim another 6 tackles, but he doesn't get them.
And now Darryl Williams turning Chris Bibb round. Bibb. Got away from him again, but Parnell was there to wrap him up. Martin O'Fire.
Good tackling there by Edwards.
Darryl Powell looking for a bit of work. It's important for Great Britain's chances if they just hold on to this ball. But can the Kiwis come back and steal this one? Oh, good ball back to Dennis Betts there. Tawera Nikau is going to throw him into the turf. Now Gary Schofield, a kick over the top. Here's a chance now for Great Britain to well and truly wrap it up. He had a man on the outside, but elected to throw it on the inside. Play on, says the referee. The chase is on, and it's going to go dead.
Well, that was a chance for Great Britain. I think Gary Schofield chose the wrong option. He had Bobby Goulding along inside him, but somebody must have called at the final minute. And the touch judge is on now. Was Bobby Goulding interfered with off the ball when Schofield was about to pass to him? Certainly Goulding went to the ground. He began to complain. And it is,
Great Britain.
That's what's happened. And that may have been the reason, I think, why the ball was not passed to Bobby Goulding. This well worth looking at. And here we see Gary Schofield. He's got Goulding positioned perfectly outside him. Well, no, he'd already chosen to dummy. It's a high tackle. It's a head-high tackle off the ball, well spotted by the touch judge, and it's a tackle, I think, that Darryl Williams could well regret.
Well, I thought they may have a kick at penalty goal there, Great Britain, just to waste a bit of time, but no, they've elected to play on, and that's the quarter line. So now Great Britain with the final charge.
Well, Greg, I'm amazed. Less than 3 minutes to go. A kicker of Jonathan Davis's calibre and ability. You use 60 seconds up in a kick. He should have gone for goal, surely.
Well, now this is Jonathan Davis having a run, and he's 12 metres out. Now the pressure right on the Kiwis. Bobby Goulding, the little halfback, trying to find a way through. Almost slipped through too. The pressure on New Zealand. Great Britain lead by 11 points to 10. They came into the match as underdogs, and Gary Schofield was going to try a drop goal.
You see, tactically, there's something wrong here. We're given a penalty goal with one of the finest kickers in world rugby. We play 2 more tacklers, and then we go for a drop goal. There's something wrong there.
Bob Bailey not looking too happy at the moment.
But Great Britain now have got to hang in there. They've got to tackle for dear life, and suddenly this Test series comes alive. And Great Britain, New Zealand, they've got to swing this ball about.
Nick out. Out it goes to Peter Brown.
That's no good for New Zealand. It's got to move. It's got to go through 3-4 pairs of hands. There's only the outside centres, the wingmen, who can win this match.
Well, they throw it to nobody now. The pressure getting to New Zealand in the dying minutes.
2 minutes to go. 1 point separating these two sides. 11 points to 10 for Great Britain. Everything one needed in a Test match.
Now it's going to have to take the magic of someone like Kevin Edo or Gary Freeman to set something up, and they're going to turn Great Britain around again. The kick through by Dwayne Mann. And if Great Britain can hold on it for a set of 6 here, they may have won this Test match.
That's all they have to do, Greg. They've got to hold on for these 6 tackles, play the first receiver. Dennis Betts knows what to do. Hold it here, and then put that high ball up, deep and long. Seconds ticking away, less than a minute.
Paul Dixon. Yes, they're soaking up the time now. Gary Schofield throwing the dummy. Great Britain playing with confidence now. I think they've got the Test match won. They lead by 11 points to 10. Darryl Powell in from the back line looking for a bit of work. That's the 5th tackle. What do they do here?
It doesn't matter where it goes, Greg, as long as it goes long and hard.
Well, Schofield, he's had a great game today. Tactically, he's been superb.
He's been the man of the match. And there he is. He's talking, he's urging them on. Just staying out of position, really. Chance.
Great Britain desperate now, and it's all over. There's the full-time siren. The crowd runs onto the park. It's all over.
Tremendous delight. They were
job containing Great Britain. Danger man Gary Schofield and the